So now we're going beyond the 3D desires. Purushartha literally means human purpose. And they're considered the 4 aspects or the 4 aims of human life. The 4 Purusharthas are more of a framework that balance our life, our worldly life, and spiritual growth. And in classical texts, they're often approached in a hierarchy. For example, moksha is the ultimate goal. But Dharma and Artha and Kama are absolutely necessary foundations for a balanced life as well. So the 4 Purusharthas are Artha, I want stability. Kama, I want pleasure. Dharma, I want to live in truth. And moksha, I want freedom from illusion. And I put 2 little, I split them up on the left side and the right side according to the hierarchy. So Artha and Kama, these are personality desires. They are going to relate to physical life, emotional experience, social structures, comfort, pleasure, success. And with this, I want pleasure in all senses. Pleasure as in, I want to feel comfortable in this luxurious blanket. Pleasure as in sexual pleasure. Pleasure as in, I want to eat that extra slice of cheese, right, on that sandwich. So again, these aren't necessarily veils of illusions. They're all necessary in life. But how do we balance that? Now, on the right side here, we have Dharma and Moksha. These are soul's desires. They're related to true self-alignment, purpose, liberation, remembrance. Artha and Kama feed the ego. Dharma and Moksha free the ego. All are desires. They just arrive from different layers of the self. And that's something I want us to get into as well, because turning raw human longing into divine creative power. When we're talking about our sankalpa, something might seem really, 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 really desirable to you, but you know that it's not necessarily the root of what's going to make you happy. For example, you can say, I really like this person. They are so good looking. I'm so attracted to them. They are exactly who I want to be with. But in actuality, it's not the right person for you. You're going off more attractions and egoic pleasures. But how do you curve that desire? Because I want you to take a moment and reflect on your desires, the ones that you've repressed, the ones that have shaped your life behind the scenes. Because these come up since childhood. Childhood desires, for example. Okay, as a child, I wanted to be rich and famous. I'm sure you did too. Many of us did. But that desire wasn't just about recognition and money. I was longing for attention. I was longing for validation. And I wanted to be seen. Right? This starts in the household. This starts with our experiences in school. So as an adult, you're able to go and really look at things closer and say, well, why was that? Because it's no longer a desire I have now. But you can look at it now and say, why did I have that desire? Why did I have that desire? And you're able to look at it. Oh, you know what? In all actuality, I was craving the consistency and attention from my father. You can say, you know what? I didn't want to be repressed like my mother was. So I thought being out there would be a form of rebellion and validation. So we're subconsciously trying to protect ourselves and to not get caught in a karmic loop we see around us. But we're not doing it from the soul's perspective. We're doing it from the egoic perspective. These desires are not inherently bad, but they're misunderstood. And instead, a lot of people repress them. So if you still crave something like entirely and you still really want it, but you're acting like you don't, or you're suppressing it, that karma is still going to exist. There's still unfinished business there. And the way we do it is by learning how to purify them and transform the desire into something else. Transform the desire into sankalpa by understanding it, because most people are going to suppress it, and that creates subconscious patterns and shadow behaviors, or they're being chased by their desires. And you can create a lot of burnout and karmic loops. So in both cases, whether you're chasing it or you're chasing the desire, in both cases, Shakti, the life force animating everything, it's trapped, it's misaligned, and it's underutilized. If you're suppressing something, it's like a pressure cooker. Eventually, it's going to blow and create a mess. Take a moment and start listening to your desires silently or write them down. Don't judge them, just observe them and start to figure out what the energy is behind them. Because just going over the 4 Purusharthas, I'm sure you had some things come up. I'm sure you're able to see what your ego desires are, the ones that are feeding your ego, not the ones that are freeing them. We're not going to free the ego until we understand what's feeding the ego. And this is the best way to do it. So you want to look at your lifelong desires, the patterns that keep repeating. Because you think, well, I'm trying to do something good in my life, but it's not happening. And instead, I'm left with incompleteness. I'm left with, I didn't succeed at the sankalpa I wanted. So the very thing you wanted that didn't work out, that's what you need to trace back the roots to as to why it's not. What's it correlating with? What karmic ties is it bound to? And what influences in your life have demonstrated the same result? Who in your life has had a similar result? So it could be tied to your mother. So say like you're always having issues with money. And no matter how hard you try, you find yourself on the same loop. How was your mother's relationship with money? How was your grandmother's relationship with money? When you start looking at it in this way, you'll get answers. You'll find out maybe your grandmother had wealth and maybe she lost it all. Maybe it was taken from her. And then that bled on through to your mother. And now it's within you as well. So we also have quiet desires, the ones you feel ashamed of or think are too small or too big to acknowledge. Yeah, sometimes there are shadows in there. They're also known as quiet desires. And this is all about integrating them too and bringing them to the surface. Because if there's something that you're suppressing, a quiet desire, but your body still wants it or craves it, and you're just trying to suppress it, a good way to work through this type of karma is to picture yourself with that desire. Picture yourself fulfilling that desire. But if it's something that's not good for you, okay, if it's eating 5 cheeseburgers, or if it's not being loyal in certain ways to your loved ones, if you run that scenario through your mind with the self-inquiry work, you're going to see where it leads you to. And once you see the karmic repercussions of that, it might not sound as appetizing. It might not be such a big desire anymore. So you need to understand where these desires are going to lead you to. And that's a good way to clear them up because you're bringing them to the surface in a way through the imagination, you're bringing them to life and you're able to see, okay, I don't want to go down that road again. I don't like the way that feels.